Hey, it's me, the DBB. Did you miss me? Because I missed this, and I don't have any notes today. I don't have any topic picked out. I'm just going to talk to you guys because I feel like that's always where I'm best is unscripted. And it's been like 2, if not 3 months since I've made a podcast, which makes me really actually sad because when I started this, it was like this passion project for me. And it was something I was so excited about and still am. And I had so much momentum and just like ready to be consistent. And it was just a big thing at that moment. And then life shifted and it just became a back burner thing. But that's the thing with passion projects is sometimes they have to be. And I think about it every day. Like, when am I going to do the next one? What's it going to be about? But the hard thing is, if I'm being really honest with everybody, which I always am, I had a moment of imposter syndrome where I basically was questioning if I should even be doing something like this. The last couple months, I have had some pretty bad, I don't want to say mental health issues because I wouldn't say that, but I would say I've had some anxiety. And I would say that I have really struggled with questioning if I was at a place where I could pour into other people when I was having a hard time pouring into myself. And it made me feel like I'm the last person on the planet who should be giving people advice on mindset and all of that. And then I have to remind myself I do this because I go through stuff like that. And I've been through so many things that I feel like I can give perspective and like empathize and validate everyone. And that's really the purpose of this podcast is making people feel seen and heard and like you're not the only one going through something. And so the last couple months, I've just had a lot of change in my life. And change, I used to embrace change. I loved change. Like my whole life, it was like new hair. Every time I got my hair done, it was never just a trim. No, friend. I was coloring it. I was chopping it off. I was getting layers. I was getting bangs. I was putting pink in it. I was going blonde. I was going back to dark. I was adding caramel. Like it was something different every time I got my hair done. It could not just stay the same. I loved change. It was my favorite. Moving houses. I moved houses like every year or two, different car. Every like year to 2 years, if that, new car. Different jobs, like not even jobs, I guess, like me starting lots of different things all the time. Like I loved doing different things all the time and having new ideas. And I just have always been someone who has loved and thrived in changing environments. But I will say divorce kind of changed that about me, and I have really become a creature of habit where I thrive on consistency. I like knowing what to expect. I have become a planner when most of the time I was really spontaneous, and I still am spontaneous, but like I really like to plan out my time and know what's coming and what's next and all of that. And I really don't like a lot of change. The most I'll do to my hair is touch up my roots and do a trim. Like I have not cut my hair since I had to shave my head. I've stayed in the same house for over 2 years, which is I think the longest I've ever been in a house. I just really, really don't like a lot of change. I was at the same job for 2.5 years. And then after everything happened with my dad and his brain tumor, and I got a promotion at the same time, and I had a lot of personal life stuff erupt. I don't think I ever really recovered. And they always say, like, if you don't deal with things as they're happening, like emotionally, then they'll all come back and get you later. It's like pushing a ball under the water, right? You can push it and push it and push it, but eventually that ball's going to come back up. And the further down you push it, the harder it's going to pop back up when it comes above the water and it comes to the surface. And I kind of think that's where I got when I quit back in December, went back to the car business and just felt not like myself. And then ended up going to work at my dad's dealership so I could see him every day and took a position there that I was really apprehensive but also excited about taking, which was a big change for me, leaving the dealership that's been like family to me for the last 2.5 years and going to actually be with my real family and new position. And then they changed my position. They didn't need that one anymore, like a month and a half after I started. And then a month after that, they gave me another new position. And it was just a lot of whiplash for me as someone who really doesn't want that much change in a short period of time. Like every time I would mentally, I always joke and say it takes me 3 to 5 business days to process my feelings and my emotions and new information. Like I'm kind of a slower processor anymore. And I got to really feel out what I think my real feelings and thoughts are about things. And so every time something changes, I have to like sit back and process it and think, okay, how do I feel about this? This is what I want, blah, blah, whatever. And I feel like as soon as I'd come around to embracing the change that had happened, another big change would happen. And it just was really overwhelming for me. And it's hard because like we've talked about in other podcasts, the biggest battle you're ever going to fight is the one between your ears, like your mindset, right? And I always have prided myself in being able to change the way I think about things. But again, since the divorce, I am a different person. And so the way my brain works and processes things is just not, I can't always find the positive like I used to be able to. And I can't shake off a negative mindset like I used to be able to. Change is honestly overwhelming for me sometimes. And it just kind of took me out for a minute. So I'm back. I'm back and I'm going to try to get back on my consistent posting schedule. With every new job I've had in the last couple months, my schedule has changed. And that's also something that has made it difficult for me to find time to just come sit in this room by myself at the same time every week, like I was doing when I had my normal schedule and my kids were in school. Now my kids are out of school and they're here and it's loud and it's work and kids and new positions all, so it's just been a lot. So that's what's been going on in my life, and then you throw in just personal stuff too. It's just been like nonstop change for me. And it was just a bummer because I was really very consistent with this for like I think 7 or 8 weeks, and then everything imploded. So I'm happy to be back. And there's my update that you didn't ask for, but I think you were all kind of waiting for anyway. And so, really, today doesn't have a full topic. It was just me coming in here as me and sharing what's been going on in my life and letting you know that I'm still here. I still have really big goals for DBB. I want the delicate bad bitch to be something. And I still truly feel that it will be. But I also know that it just is right time, right timing. And I could force myself through the last couple months to just get in here, show up, and do the podcast when I didn't have the mental capacity or energy or time really to do it. But I knew I wouldn't be giving this what I wanted to give it. And that's the best of me. And I didn't have that. So here we are. We're back. I don't know what episode this is. I think it's 8 or 9. I have another episode that's kind of unhinged. It's the last one I recorded. And when I watched it back, that's when I was like, I need to step back for a minute, which I think I'll probably still post it because I do like to just be vulnerable. But I watched it back and I just remember thinking, you are not in a place where you should be giving people like advice. But I think that's the beauty in things like this is you just see real people going through real stuff, and that's honestly better than advice in my opinion. Sometimes just knowing like, oh my God, I see myself in her right now. I've been there. I understand. I get it. Um, so yeah, that's it. And so if you're someone like me and change feels overwhelming sometimes, it's okay to step back from things that aren't a priority when you have too much on your plate. And for me, that is like the hardest sentence to say because, again, in my previous life, it was always you can have results or you can have excuses. You can't have both. And I still believe that to an extent, but I also know that we all have our own capacities. And if your plate is full and there's something that you can take off the plate, take it off the plate. And when your plate's a little emptier and things are less heavy, add it back on. Like it's not going anywhere, right? And so that's where I was at with DBB for the last couple months is everything felt heavy. Everything was too much. My plate was too full. And it just, I never wanted DBB to feel like something I had to do or to feel like a chore. And so I let myself just relax and step back for a minute. So now I've been kind of thinking, just to go a different direction, I've been kind of thinking like what I want out of like the next series. I kind of feel like the first few episodes I did all mindset and like mental health and getting through hard things. And I think that's great. And I will always sprinkle in mental health when I can and getting through hard stuff together. Because I think that's where my heart really is at for people is helping people through hard times. Um, but I've been having this like gut feeling that I kind of want to shift for the next series. And I kind of want you guys to tell me in the comments if you watch and listen. Tell me in the comments what you think because I definitely will be doing a motherhood series at some point. I don't think that's the route I'm feeling right now. I'm kind of feeling like dating and women and men. Like I feel like it's been coming up a lot in life for me and people in my circle and even I started going back to church like I was in such a low spot the last couple months. I haven't been to church in like 4 or 5 years. And I was like, I need I need to feel something. Like maybe that's what I'm missing. So I've been back in church, which has been good. But even at church, this topic is just following me. And I have so many thoughts and feelings about the dating world in 2025. And I have a new perspective on men that I never had before, like being married and like expectations of men. I have different like perspective on women. Um, I think this is a topic that could like ruffle feathers for people. And again, it's just my perspective. It's case perspective. And that doesn't mean it's for everyone. But if you listen to this, I think you enjoy my perspective. And so coming out of being married for 10 years to the only real boyfriend I ever had and the only person I've ever been with in any kind of way, um, to being single at 29 for the last 3 years. Now I'm 32 and I've had one relationship and then swore it off essentially since and have had, I've tried to date and there's been some situationships or whatever you want to call them, but it's like, man, it's a weird world out here to be single. And I feel like so many people are struggling in it and no one knows what to do about it. No one knows what to do with it. I think guys are struggling. Like they don't know, like, should I approach a girl in the wild? What do I put on my dating app profile? And then women are like, men suck. They don't want to talk to us in the wild and they're all giving us the ick on the apps, which I hate the apps. I absolutely hate. It's not even, I don't have nice words for the apps. I hate them. Now, how many times have I downloaded and deleted and re-downloaded the apps? More times than I can possibly count because it feels like that's what you have to do to meet people. But I hate them. I hate them so much. And I think everyone feels the same way. And so lately, I'm not dating right now. I'm actually at a place of just being very content with myself, and my kids and not really wanting to let anybody affect my mental state. Like I'm at peace, I'm content, things are good. And as much as I would love to find someone to share this all with and have to come home to, I don't know my full view on or like what I fully want anymore with relationships and marriage and dating. Like it's something I have been processing on my own for a while because when I came out of the divorce, it was just I want to find someone. You're with somebody all day, especially when it was Tanner and I and we worked from home together for a decade. Like being alone was hard. Like my kids are gone, my husband's gone. It's just me. What do I do? Who do I talk to? Who do I tell my life to? And I started trauma dumping all over my poor family because I'm like, I don't have somebody at night to talk to. And I didn't really have a lot of single friends. And it was just like a lonely thing to go through. And, so it was like, I should date. And then I tried out the dating world, and there are some experiences that I do want to share on here. And one is really traumatic, and I have gone back and forth. And it's another reason for my personal life stuff that has kind of made me shy away from this last few months. It kind of resurfaced after a couple years. But there's been some really, really awful things that have happened to me since attempting to date that has kind of taken the stay-at-home housewife who had never been with anybody else and then tried dating completely out of the dating world because it's like in my head, I'm like, I do not belong here. I was not built for this. This is not something I enjoy. It's not in alignment with all the values I've had my whole life, or it's just, I feel like I'm an old school girly trapped in a new age dating world, and it's terrifying. And I try to change my perspective on it, but it's just, there's been some bad stuff. And so that'll be other episodes. But I guess I'm curious, like, if I did, like, kind of switch DBB a little bit for a series and I brought on guests too, like, maybe I bring on a guy and we just shoot the shit about dating and how a single guy's perspective versus single girls. Maybe I'll bring on single girls and we'll just share dating stories, like funny stuff. Maybe I just give my perspective. I tell you some of the stories or the things I've gone through. But that's kind of like where I feel like my gut is kind of telling me to take this right now, just because I think it's really relevant and it keeps popping up for me and I don't feel like I can ignore it anymore. So as someone who's not really interested in dating right now, at peace with being alone, but has been in the dating world for the last 3.5 years, I might give you my case perspective on that. But other than that, eventually I'll go into motherhood and, being a mom and balancing all the things. I do think those will be topics too, but I think the way I'm leaning with DBB is series. And so we did like a whole mindset series, a mental health series. Now I think I want to move into a dating series. And it's not exposing people I've dated. I will never be that. I'm not going to sit here and throw people I've gone on dates with under the bus and call them out by name. Like, I would never do that. But just nameless experiences of things that have happened and just perspective on what it's like out here. And then honestly, I kind of want to just start brainstorming how I can help fix this problem. Like, I even thought about having like a DBB community for like dating, and like doing events or something. But that's just me having my brainstorm as I often do. So, this was not really a podcast that is helpful to anyone in any way. It's more just an update on my life and what's up with DBB and where I'm thinking I want to go with it. I would love to hear feedback in the comments, or if you guys message me. If you want to share this video, invite people to the DBB brand on YouTube or Spotify or Instagram. Again, I am going to work on my consistency, figure out a good summer schedule for posting content on here, because my new job is also social media and content directing. So it's going to be a lot of me doing editing videos and stuff. So I just need to figure out, whoop, I just need to figure out my schedule on how I want to do this, but that's your update and I would love feedback. So, thanks again for listening. And as always, I can't wait to see where this goes. Bye.